Welcome everyone, this is gonna be another live hacking video. If you haven't seen one before, this is a format without much editing where we don't hack real companies or people, instead we solve ethical hacking challenges on cybersecurity training platforms. I don't prepare for these and don't know the solution before we start, allowing you to see my real-time process and reasoning. Let's begin. How about we go for this one today? Hit join room. Let's hit start machine, and here we have 3 flags that we need to capture. Let's wait for our IP. Okay, we have our IP ready. Let's check if the box is running or not. It is still not returning us pings, so let's wait for a bit and see if it starts doing so. Okay, there we have one ping, there we have a second one. The machine seems to have booted. So let's turn off the ping, let's clear, and let's start an Nmap scan. We'll do T4, all ports, extensive scan. Let's do ON to output the Nmap results to a file. Let's name it nmap.txt and let's paste the IP. And let's start it. The goal of this scan is to find all running ports on the target machine, and every running port would have a service running on it. After we see all active services, our job would be to test every service and look for a vulnerability which would lead us inside the box. So I will be back when the scan finishes. Okay, and our scan has finished. We see something very typical. We see port 22 and 80 open. Usually we wouldn't be focusing on SSH unless we have some credentials, so that leaves port 80 or HTTP, the only service that would most likely lead us in this box. So let's copy the IP and let's check out this web service in a browser. And we can immediately see that we have a default Apache web page running. If we view source, we see the default Apache source, I guess. So our only option so far really would be to run a directory busting scan. So let's do gobuster dir-u and let's copy this URL. Paste right here. Let's do w user share word list. Let's do derp command text because it's a bit shorter, and I don't know if we would have any extensions for now. I guess I will leave it with no extensions and I will add it if we need to in a moment. Oh, and there we go, we have a directory app. So let's go to it, and here we have a directory listing of something that is called plug, and we have a version 4.7.13. Let's click on this folder. And now we are seeing this page. We have admin, I guess that is the post owner of this post. It says dreaming right here. And here we have a parameter file equals dreaming. It could be interesting checking this for path traversal, but let's just look around for now. Do we have anything other? No. So, well, I guess the best thing to do first is just copy this and just paste it in Google and do exploit, see if there is any known exploits, file upload, remote code execution, authenticated. So that is a thing, and it is the exact version we have, and it is authenticated. So if we hit the admin link, we get redirected to login.php, and I guess we can try admin. Why not? Let's see if it is a default password like that. No, let's try password. Okay, so that is actually another instance where that is our first step into the solution. If you watched our previous challenge walkthrough, we actually logged into a different site in the same exact way with username admin and password. So I guess that's a bit of a pattern and something to make sure to check always. But here now we are in, and this exploit here starts to look very, very attractive. So let's open it and see what it is about. A file upload restriction, bypass vulnerability, in plug CMS before 4.7.13. So here it says before, but I assume that is inclusive and it includes our current version. Let's see. So we are going to authenticate here, and then we are going to upload this massive shell here. So we have admin.php question mark action equals files. Let's see, do we have like a files thing here? Modules, options. So we are at admin.php action equals start. Let's do action equals files. Be careful with double L. With clicking links, they might compromise your website. How about we try uploading like a simple PHP payload and see if we have any restriction at all here to just upload any PHP file. So let me search for, or rather locate, simple web shell.php. Maybe it is not called exactly that. So in that case, let's just cd into user share web shells php. Okay, it's called simple backdoor actually. So let's copy this path. Let's do cp. Actually, I'm not in the correct directory here, and I forgot initially to create a directory for our box. So let's do that quickly. And now let's copy this and let's do cp paste and let's do simple web shell.php and let's put it here. And now let's browse here, going to dreaming, and let's just try uploading it, see if there are any restrictions. And actually type application PHP. So it got uploaded, but .txt apparently got appended at the back of it. And I wonder if that's happening server side, or do we have control over this? Let's see. So where did it end up? Let's open this in a new tab. It is in files, just like it is here. I wonder if we can start up burp and observe this behavior and see exactly what happens in the request that is sent. Let me go to proxy, open browser. Let's copy this, paste it here. We have HTTP history already capturing our request. So let's just log in as admin with the password of password. Great. And if we choose file and go to desktop, thm, dreaming, this one, select, and let's actually turn intercept on and hit upload. And let's see what does happen here. Okay, so it doesn't seem like it has appended it when building the request, so that we can just remove it. So it is probably appending .txt server side, so we can't really stop that. But at least from what I can see, I would assume that because they're saving it as a FAR, maybe the backend doesn't append .txt to FAR files. So how about we come here and try to do file name simple backdoor.far instead of PHP and forward the request like this. Let's turn intercept off, and I wonder if we managed to upload that. So it seems it didn't append .txt. So let's open a link in new tab and let's see if we can run it. There's a question mark cmd equals id. And there we go, we have a shell. And as you can see, we didn't even need to download and run this exploit. We were able to manually exploit it instead, which I honestly like doing sometimes. It is better for learning purposes to try reading the exploit, understand what exactly it is doing, and just try do it manually instead of running it blindly. But now let's do which Python 3. We have Python 3. Let's actually stop using this burp browser and go back to our Firefox. Just copy this URL and paste it here. Let's look for Python, or let's just go to refshells.com. And we already have Python here. Let's do Python 3, the second one. Let's grab our IP, which is going to be this one. Put it here. Let's keep the port as 9001 and let's copy it. Let's run our netcat listener and let's slap our Python reverse shell here and hit enter. If we come back here, we have our shell. Let's do ID. We are running commands. Great. Now let's come here and let's look up full tty. Let's open this one, copy this, Python 3, paste. Okay, and now let's copy this as well. Ctrl Z, let's paste, enter, and let's do ls. And now we have a more of an interactive shell. Let's do env. Let's just go back. Here we have our app. I wonder if we have any credentials here. We'll come back over here later if we are stuck, but now let's just go to home. Now let's see, we have a few users here. Let's actually list all of them. Let's try going to death. Anything here? Okay, we have a flag here which we cannot read, and we have a getDreams.py file which we can execute only. Interesting. Let's go back. Let's cd into Lucian. We have a flag here which we cannot read as well. Great. And let's finally go to Morpheus. Here we have a restore.py file, which we can read, flag, which we can't, and kingdom, whatever kingdom is, which we can read as well. So let's cat restore.py. Apparently this script is backing up this kingdom file into kingdom backup/kingdom. Okay, let's see file kingdom. What is that? It's just ASCII text, cat kingdom. We save the kingdom. Okay, so it is just a text file. Let's cd into root, and do we have this kingdom backup? We do, and we don't have access to it. It's owned by root and saviors. By the way, I didn't check Ubuntu. Do we have anything in Ubuntu? We have .ssh. Okay, nothing interesting here. Okay, let's start doing some enumeration then. Fast forwarding checks that don't show anything interesting here. Let's check what local services do we have. We have MySQL and 33060 as well. I assume this MySQL is for the CMS that we already exploited. So let's run pspy on this box. This restore.py script is most definitely run in some sort of cron job. So let's download pspy and let's run it. And there we go, we have a cron job which is running as user Morpheus, I guess, and it is running home Morpheus restore.py. I will leave this running for a few more moments to see if anything else would appear. Okay, I've waited like 4 or 5 minutes and we see only this one. We might only have the permissions to see this one. So let's just stop our pspy and let's go to home Morpheus. Let me remind myself of what permissions did we have here. So Morpheus can rewrite it, but we can only read it. And again, it runs from shutil copy2 as backup. So I wonder if this copy2 function has any type of exploit. Let's open a browser and let's do shutil copy2 exploit or something like that. See if anything appears at all. Okay, we have a potential privilege escalation vulnerability. That is interesting. Okay, there is a potential vulnerability here, but it doesn't seem very low hanging. I feel like it would be a bit of more of a complex exploit. So I think we can leave this as our last resort. And what I would do here now is I would honestly just run linpiece because I'm out of ideas of manual checks. So let's see if linpiece would find something for us. Okay, linpiece has completed. Now it has one red in yellow right here. However, I have seen this one before being a false positive. This is our only yellow, so it might be worth trying it out. But other than that, I honestly didn't really see anything too interesting. One other idea I have is I wonder if we go back to our HTML web root and go to app. Did we have any credentials for this database? I looked around for a few minutes here. So maybe we don't have any credentials here. So I guess we should fall back to the linpiece. And there it is, CV 2021-3560. Let's copy this and look it up. Let's do exploit. And let's do GitHub. My box got shut down here. I restarted it and tried the exploit. And of course, it's not gonna work. As I said, I have seen it as a false positive, so here unfortunately we have this missing dependency and that is not going to work. So we are going to have to keep digging. Let's see if there is anything in opt, and there actually is. And we actually have a test.py which we can read and execute. We can write, we can also read getDreams.py. Let's cat getDreams.py. We actually have a db pass redacted. However, in order for this script to really run, I feel like password might actually be this, so we will try it in a moment. But let's also cat test.py. And here we have something even more interesting. We actually have a hard-coded password here, and it is apparently to do with Lucian. We might be able to actually switch user to Lucian, but before switching to him, I actually want to try to switch user to death. See if this works at all. No. Okay, let's try MySQL -u root -p, or never mind. MySQL -u death -p. And let's try the redacted password. Okay, it might actually be redacted. And now this password seems like it is definitely gonna work. So let's do su Lucian, paste. And okay, that's very good news. We are now Lucien. Let's cd into his home directory, and we have a flag here. Let's cut it and let's submit. Okay, awesome. Let's go back and let's cd into .ssh. And how about we add our key here so we can connect with a completely maxed out shell. Okay, good. And now let's do ssh lucien at, and let's grab this IP right here. Yes. That was an interesting banner here, but we are in, and we can now just close this shell, and we can just use our SSH one now. Okay, great. So what would be the next move? We have the .mysql history. So there seem to be no valuable passwords here, but it is hinting us that we might want to try and connect to MySQL in the future. Anything in .bash history? Look what we have here. We have a few things in bash history. Obviously we have this password, which looks very, very nice here. So from here on, this looks like it is maybe here. This is our commands, and these up here are Lucien's commands. Looks like we can run sudo as dev, sudo-l, let's see. Oh, okay, that's interesting. We can run getDreams.py with no password. And the other interesting thing is, of course, this Lucien 42db password. So let's connect to MySQL. Use library. Select all from dreams. Okay, we don't have any password here. We only have dreamers and dreams. So that is probably a dead end. However, we do have permissions. Let's exit. We do have permissions to run getDreams.py as dev. What was this file again? Actually, we can't read it. We can only execute it. Let's try running it. Okay, so it is printing the same values in the database. So that makes me wonder, would we be able to, let me try something. If we go back to the database, let's use, wait, what was the name again? What I'm wondering here is, what if we do something like insert into dreams? Let's do values, and I wonder if we can do something like in these two characters, ID, or let's also try like this syntax, I think, or this one. And here let's do who am I. If I am not mistaken, both of these syntaxes would execute the command if it is printed in the console. There we go, that's executed. And not sure if this one is exactly how it was used. Maybe not. Oh, never mind. Exactly. Yeah, we got Kali here. We get the output of the command. So what if we try? Oh, we actually had to put in brackets, I think. Okay, let's list them. And now we have this. And what I wonder is if we now exit and we rerun this. And there we go. We actually have execution as death here. Let me explain here. This script, we didn't really see what it does. But because we checked the database and we saw that it is printing these values, what I did is I assumed that it is taking them from the database and just printing them as plain text. And so that is why I decided to check on this assumption to verify whether it is just printing them from some random place or it is actually reading from this table. And apparently it is. Now what we can do is let's connect back. Didn't mean to insert that again, but I guess we have it twice now. But let's try, let's do the first command as cp bin bash into home death bash. And let's do the second one as chmod u+s home death bash. So what we would do is we would just create a copy of bin bash, set it as owned by death, and then just set its SUID bit. So then we could go and we could run this bash version as death and basically become death. So let's hit enter. And now let's run this. And now if we are actually in home death right now. So right now we have a bash binary here with its SUID bit set owned by death. So if we do ./bash -p and we do id, we are now with the effective UID of death. We should have permission now to, let's see, there is actually no .ssh directory here, and I'm not sure if I run sh keygen, are we gonna run it with death? Let's just try catting death flag.txt, and as you can see, we now can cat it even though these permissions are not set at all, because we have the effective UID of death. So we have the flag, but we should look into a way to get a full session as death. Maybe one way would be to modify getDreams.py and add a reverse shell there. That would definitely be simpler. Also, it is a Python script. Let's do vim getDreams.py. Yep, we are changing a read-only file. Let's paste and let's escape, right quit. So now we have the reverse shell in this one. So what we should be able to do is exit, get back to our Lucian shell. Let's do nc nvlp 901 here, and let's run our getDreams.py script. And boom, we now have a shell as death. We maybe could have tried to do this in the table, and maybe that was just a bit of a longer way to do it, but that's what I came up with on the fly. You can try doing it by placing this longer shell in the table. But now let's upgrade to a fully interactive shell. And we SSH as death at we are in as death. So the last user we have, which we haven't been yet, is Morpheus. We had a restore script here. Okay, let's see if we can run anything with sudo for death, and we actually need his password, which I don't think we have. I wonder if he has not removed his bash history as well. Seems like he hasn't, but doesn't look like there are any credentials here. And here I spent so much time trying to understand how the script connects successfully to the database when the password in it is not correct, until I finally realized. Wait, it is in home? Wait, it is... there is another one here. Oh, there the password is. I'm so dumb. I didn't realize it is in two places. Oh wow. Let's do sudo -l with this password, and we can't actually run anything. And it turned out to be for nothing. Here I tried finding a use for the password with no success. Are we actually gonna have to try to exploit this? I looked into it a bit again, but I was not sure if it would work, so didn't pursue. Now I'm realizing that Kingdom Backup is owned by group Saviors. And that realization led me to jumping into the next rabbit hole, which leads nowhere. However, as I was digging with ChatGPT, it actually gave me another idea, which was a winner. Watch to see. So using ChatGPT here gave me an idea to look for writable directories, and then I decided to look for writable files as well. By filtering out the noise, which is proc, sys and .local, to remove all of these entries for writable files, I was able to reduce it down to this screen of files only. And if you remember the Python library, which is used in this script here, it is actually this sh-util one, and it turns out that it is writable. We can literally write to the library itself. So let's go over to ref shells, copy this, let's vim this. I'm gonna have to recopy the ref shell, but that's okay. We can literally open the library itself, scroll up top, and let's just copy this now. Let's go over here, insert, paste, and let's just exit. And now if I quickly run a netcat listener, as it's running as a cron tab, it should very soon connect to our netcat shell, because it is going to run this script as Morpheus, and this script is going to load this library, which is going to execute our reverse shell. And there we go. We are now Morpheus and group Saviors. So let's upgrade our shell. Let's do sudo -l, and Morpheus has full access to the box. So let's do sudo su, and we are now root. And with that, we have completed the challenge. For this one, the initial access was pretty straightforward, and the PrivEsc was the main adventure. Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments or over on Discord. If you enjoyed this format, here is the playlist with more of these. See you next time.